Hello friends, welcome to a really fun video today. I have an adorable little box to share with you. This sweet little box features the Inspiration Squad stamp set. This is part of our online exclusives. This one was released a couple months ago, but it is so cute and I love all the greetings. You can grab this one today in my online store. But I love this sweet little box. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The box just slides, the lid slides off, and inside are two little fun size packages of M&Ms. I'm sure you can fit a variety of other things in here. Lots of fun treats will fit in here. And the lid just slides right back on. So I found this big bag of M&Ms, the fun size M&Ms at my local Target. I'm sure they sell them everywhere. Walmart, I'm sure they're everywhere, but they're just the little fun size ones. As we get closer to Halloween too, you're gonna get lots of those fun size candies all over the place. So this is what we're making today, just super adorable. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the box. I'm using Secret Sea and Petal Pink, and these two colors are perfect together. I just love them. They are both 8.5 by 4. We are going to score and trim them the exact same way. So the lid and the bottom are the exact same. So we're going to do those. We'll do them separately, but they're going to be done the exact same way. So on the 4-inch side, we are going to score it at 1 inch. And then I'm going to rotate it to the 8.5-inch side. We're going to score it at 1, 4, 5, and 8. So really easy score lines. There's no halves, there's no quarters, there's no 16ths, none of that. So 4-inch side, we're going to score it at 1. We're going to rotate 1, 4, 5, and 8. All the measurements for the cardstock and scoring and all of that is in the video description. It's also listed on my blog, which is linked in the video description. So you can check that out. You don't have to worry about writing anything down. And I do always encourage you to check out what the measurements are in the video description, because those are often more correct than what I'm saying. Oftentimes I'll say them correctly, but you know, the pressure of a video, sometimes I don't say them correctly. So always go by what is written in the video description, because you know that that is going to be completely correct. All right, so I'm just folding and burnishing on all the score lines. They're all straight score lines, super easy. This is a really quick box to put together. This will make gorgeous like party favors and stuff too. You could decorate it with whatever you want. You could do bridal shower favors and the bride's colors. Really, really cute. You could really do whatever you want. Okay, so we're going to do trimming on the bottom. So the bottom is where we have this 1-inch piece down here. I'm trying some new lighting in my room, guys. So let me turn on one more light. So I hope that we're getting some good lighting. I'm not sure. I can never tell when I'm recording. Okay, so we have this 1-inch strip on the bottom. So on the squares, I'm going to notch in on the squares, and then I'm going to cut straight up on the rectangles. So I'm going to go straight up on the rectangle and notch in on the squares. And it's just going to take away a little bit of the bulk and take off those corners, so that if things are not perfectly straight or perfectly, if it's not perfectly 1 inch, then it'll all be okay. Now on this little tiny rectangle piece, I'm going to trim that off, and I'm going to trim that at an angle. And I'm also going to trim this side at an angle, just like that. So that is all the trimming. I mean, really easy trimming. So just notch in on the squares, leave the rectangles straight, and then notch in on the sides. I'm going to do this one real quick. So same on both sides, and you could even get kids involved. These would make great back to school favors for teachers, for the PTA, whatever. My daughter doesn't want to think about it, but we are thinking about back to school already. Her school starts the beginning of August, so we have just about a month left. A little less than a month, actually. So I'm very excited. It's been a long summer already, and it's only July. All right, guys. So that is all the trimming. I'm going to grab all my trash, get it out of the way. That's all the trimming. So let's go ahead and assemble our boxes. I'm going to assemble the bottom first. So the bottom of our box is Petal Pink, although you could really do it in either color. It doesn't matter. So I am going to, let's do a kind of a mock-up, because I want this tab to be at the back. So I know that this is going to be the front of my box. So what I'm going to do is on the open side, I'm going to put adhesive, and I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm using a strong adhesive. Let me see if I can get it started here. Hello. There it is. It's a brand new one, so it took a minute. So I'm going to put it on the inside of the small tabs, and then I'm going to put a couple of strips on the inside of that front tab that we decided was the front. So, oh, and we're going to put a little bit on this 1/2 inch piece, but we're going to do that on the opposite side of where we put all that adhesive. So let's start with this 1/2 inch piece right here. This is going to fold around and just make sure that the score lines line up just like that. All right, let's open up all of these. These 3 have adhesive, so I'm going to fold in the back piece first and then the side tabs, and this is going to sandwich those tabs inside and you'll never ever see them, and then that front tab just like that, and that's it. That is our box all glued together. So this will be the bottom of our box. So let's do the exact same thing to the top of our box. I'm going to put on that 1/2 inch piece, then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the square tabs, and then I'm going to put some adhesive on this tab, the one between the 2 square tabs. That'll be our front. All right, we're going to fold this over. We're going to line up our score lines. Is that a good burnish? Let's open up our tabs here. We're going to put the back in first, the one that's not sticky. Side tab, front. And you can always stick your bone folder down there. Give it a nice burnish. Make sure everything is nice and adhered. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get our little candies in there. So 2 of them fits. I mean, you could probably fit lots of other things, little Skittles or whatever. All right, now for the bottom, let me open up my other one here. For the bottom, I'm going to pinch the sides just a little bit, and that's going to make it go into our box a little bit easier. And I like doing this, I like pinching the sides better than having to measure down to the 1/16 of an inch. You can always make the top of your box or the bottom of your box either slightly smaller or slightly larger, but that often requires you measuring down to like the 1/16 of an inch, and you guys, I don't want to do that. So you just pinch the little side, pinch it in just a little bit, and your lid will go right on, and it'll be a nice snug fit. Perfect, right? So lovely. All right, let's do our stamping. Well, actually, I've already done the stamping. We're going to do some coloring. So I stamped the little dragon in Memento. We're going to color with Stampin' Blends. And then I stamped the greeting in Secret Sea. So that's the same color as the top of our box. So let's do some coloring on our dragon. I'm going to start with my light Secret Sea. And I am just going to color all the little, I don't know what you, like these little spikes. I don't know what you call these on a dragon. I'm not sure. But we're just going to color those Secret Sea. And that's the only thing we're coloring, Secret Sea. And we're not doing any blending. And I'm using the light because Secret Sea is very dark. So I think the light is, it's dark enough. We don't need to worry about that. All right, I'm going to bring in my Petal Pink. And we're going to do like his tummy, part of his wing, and then, you know, his undercarriage here, whatever you want to call that. I'm sure that is not the proper term. But, you know, I don't know dragon anatomy. That wasn't taught in school. So if you know dragon anatomy, let me know. Okay, so I'm just doing light. I'm doing a light wash over his chest, that inside part of his wing. And I'm being a little bit careful, probably more careful than I need to be because everything else is going to be colored a little bit darker. All right, now I'm going to come in with my dark Petal Pink. And I'm going to go around the edges because I imagine that the dragon has more of a curve to his neck, to his body. And so I think the shadows are going to be on the outside. Now, Petal Pink is a very light color, so I'm going pretty heavy with the dark because I really want that contrast. So I'm leaving the light, I'm leaving the inside light, and I'm not sure it's going to pick up that well in the video, but make sure you check out the photos on my blog so you'll be able to tell. Now for the wing, I'm starting in this little corner here where all his little wing veins meet, or whatever you call those, and I'm just going out and just kind of following each of those lines and leaving the very top. light. And then for this back part, it's pretty small, but I'm just following this top line with the dark. And that's all I'm going to do. Now, if you want to go in and blend it out, you can, but because we went over it while it was still a little wet, it's going to kind of naturally blend. If you want to wait for it to dry and you can go in with another layer of dark, if you want it more defined, you can absolutely do that too. But I'm pretty happy with how it is, so we're going to leave it. And we're going to come in with our cloud cover Stampin' Blends. So this is another new color, and I'm going to start with the light again. We're not going to color the horns. We're going to leave the horns white. So go around the horns carefully. Go around his eyes carefully. His eye is very cute. He's got a nice big eye, so make sure you kind of avoid that. So I'm going to go very carefully around his face. And again, I'm just using the light. Now we're coloring a bigger area here, so I'm going to kind of do one section at a time. So I'm going to do this section, and we'll come in with the dark. And I'm just going to follow this line here on the right side with the dark kind of under his chin, and then just kind of along the top of his head. And again, because it's wet already, we're kind of doing wet on wet, that dark is just going to kind of naturally blend. If you want, you can go back in with the light and just kind of make sure that it's blending, but it's going to kind of naturally blend, so I'm not going to worry about that. All right, now his back foot here, I'm going to cover with some light, but that's going to be really in the shadows. I'm going to really kind of go over dark with that. All right, now for the rest of him, I'm going to do light, just kind of a wash of light. We'll go around these little spikes or bumps or whatever you want to call them, around the bottom of his wing and up his tail. These are they're smaller kind of finicky parts. You can get to his belly and his back and just easily kind of color those in. Now you can color this dragon any color. I've done this dragon multiple colors and it's totally worked. All right, now the dark I'm going under his wing because that's going to cast a little bit of a shadow. I'm going to go kind of on the left side of this leg, kind of up his tail this way, his back foot, just like that. Now you can go back in, but again, it's going to kind of naturally blend, so you don't have to do too much work. And I think that's it for our little dragon. Now, there are no dies or punches for this stamp set, so you will have to fussy cut them out. I have already done that, so we don't have to wait on that. So let me zoom back out a little bit. All right, I'm gonna get my paper trimmer and we're gonna trim off this bottom greeting down here that I stamped. And I'm just trimming it to like the height of the words. We don't need to do an exact measurement. The height and the width of the words is really all we need. Okay, so we have our little dragon. We have our greeting. Let's talk about the rest of our pieces. I have an arch that I die cut out of Petal Pink. And then I have a piece of DSP, which is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And this DSP comes from the Boho Vibes DSP. This is in our annual catalog. It goes with that gorgeous rainbow suite, and it is just stunning DSP. It's 6 by 6. You're gonna get a lot of each sheet, and it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous package of paper. So check that out in the annual catalog or in my online store. All right, we're gonna get this onto the front of our box. Now, if you wanted to cut more DSP pieces to put on the box, you absolutely could. Like you can do the sides, the top, the back. I'm only doing the front, but you could absolutely cut more if you wanted. All right, so that's gonna fit just perfectly. There's just gonna be a small little outline. The box itself, you know, each panel is 3 by 3 this way. So 2 7/8 and 2 7/8 is going to give you just the slightest little border. All right, let's get our little dragon. We're going to use some dimensionals. And I have some outline, some edge pieces that I'm going to use. I'm going to just pull those off. And we're going to stick him on just on that little arch. He's going to hang off just a little bit. And I have one more edge piece I'm going to put right under him of my dimensionals. And we're going to put the greeting on there. And I'm going to kind of tuck it under his feet. I want him to kind of be standing right on it. Let me see if I can. But I don't want to cover up any of the words, so perfect, just like that. Adorable, right? All right, let's get some more dimensionals. Let's get some dimensionals on the back of this. And we're going to add this to our box. Just to the top, or don't overlap and do it on the bottom and the top, because then you're going to glue your box shut. So make sure that when you're adding it on, you're adding it on just to the top. I want to make sure my adhesive's not showing. Don't go too close, because if it hangs off, your adhesive is going to hang off. All right, we're almost done, guys. One more final finishing touch. I have these muted palette dots. This is also from that same suite with the DSP, so everything's going to coordinate perfectly. You have Petal Pink, Cloud Cover, Mossy Meadow, and Daffodil Delight. You can use any of these colors. They are all in that beautiful rainbow DSP. I think for this one, I think I'm going to go with the Mossy Meadow. I think we're going to just go ahead and add a few of those. Gorgeous. And these are these have a little bit of a bigger profile. I don't think that they're going to be post office friendly. So I like using them on 3D projects, because you can see how they're pretty big. They stand up quite a bit. So if you do mail them, you'll probably have to use a padded envelope or definitely add some extra postage. But that is it for our sweet little M&M box. I hope you loved this one. Holds a couple packages of fun size M&M, so who wouldn't love that as a little treat? And it's just a fun little box, and you can put a ton of cute things in here. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That means you never miss a video. And I have some fun videos coming up, so make sure that you make sure to subscribe to that channel. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.